Washington says it carried out airstrikes against suspected Islamic State targets in northwest Nigeria, a move that U.S. President Donald Trump described as powerful and deadly. And in a video released by the U.S. Department of War showing a missile firing from a military vessel towards the region. Take a look. The U.S. military said the operation targeted camps they believe ISIS operates in Sokoto state, near Nigeria's border with Niger. Visuals from Sokoto showing residents examining the twisted metal that appears to be debris from a projectile, while flames burn in the distance, lighting up the night sky. And in a post on social media, the U.S. Secretary of War Pete Hegseth thanked the Nigerian government for support and cooperation. And most importantly, said there is, quote-unquote, more to come. So that's the message at this point. Now, these strikes took place on Christmas Day following Trump's warning on social media, remember, that the U.S. would act if Nigeria did not stop attacks on Christians. In his Truth Social post, the American president said Nigeria must halt the killing of Christians or face U.S. military action. Guns are blazing, quote unquote. Nigeria foreign minister, meanwhile, said the country provided the U.S. with intelligence on, quote unquote, jihadists before the Christmas Day raids. While in a statement on social media, Nigeria's foreign ministry said the strike was carried out as part of the ongoing security cooperation with the United States that led intelligence sharing and strategic coordination to target the groups in northwestern parts of the country. Nigeria's population is split between Muslims living primarily in the north and Christians in the south. The armed groups Nigerian government claims target both religious communities. And earlier today itself, Trump said the Department of War executed carefully planned strikes aimed at ISIS positions, his comments tracing back to a November 1 post ordering preparations for possible intervention. Trump has previously warned that Christians in Nigeria face what he called an existential threat that amounted to genocide, according to him, and blamed, quote-unquote, radical Islamists for it. And the U.S. counter-terrorism officials reportedly say ISIS in West Africa emerged in 2015 after Boko Haram pledged allegiance to the Islamic State. And the group routinely attacks military units, local defense volunteers, government sites, and often targets civilians. Officials have not identified which faction was hit in this latest operation, but security analysts believe the strikes most likely targeted the Lakurawa group, an ISIS-linked network that has recently expanded its presence and violence across Sokoto and the neighboring areas. Analysts saying the group controls pockets of territory in northwest Nigeria and moves easily across the border into Niger. This operation comes as the U.S. military also intensifies pressure on ISIS globally. Just last week, remember, American forces carried out large-scale strikes in Syria after a suspected ISIS attack killed 3 Americans. Has Iran's supreme leader finally given the nod for the bomb? That question has taken a whole new level of urgency after the 12-day Iran-Israel war in the month of June, a war that damaged Iran's civil nuclear sites, exposed its defenses, and also forced a reckoning in Tehran. And now Israel is saying that Iran is stockpiling missiles on a large scale. And this comes ahead of a crucial Trump-Netanyahu meeting on Monday. Our next report getting you the complete story.
The 12-day war between Iran and Israel damaged key Iranian civil nuclear sites in Iran, including Natanz and Fordo. First, the Israeli jets and then American bombers targeted the sites deep inside Iran. Tehran lost scientists, infrastructure and prestige, but US officials say its nuclear program was set back by only months. Despite that, Washington says that Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei has not formally authorized a nuclear weapons program. Washington maintains that Iran is not currently building a bomb and that the program suspended in 2003 remains unapproved. But there is a shift underway. A fresh US intelligence warns that a long-standing taboo in Iran against even discussing nuclear weapons is breaking down, empowering hardliners who argue that only a nuclear deterrent can protect the regime. Claims from Iranian opposition groups and more recently a report from Italian Institute for International Political Studies suggest Khomeini may have quietly authorized work on compact nuclear warheads for ballistic missiles. Just before the war, Iran held over 440 kilograms of uranium enriched to 60%, the highest level ever achieved by a non-nuclear weapon state, and just short of bomb grade. The war appears to have changed Iran's strategic calculus. Its air defenses failed, only its missiles worked. Iranian missiles targeted Israeli cities. The much-famed Iron Dome failed to intercept the Iranian missile salvos. Just a week back, the spokesman for Iran's Atomic Energy Organization said the country has made significant nuclear advances and that developing an atomic bomb would be very easy. However, he asserts that would happen only if Tehran chose to pursue nuclear weapons. Inside Iran, the debate is now public. Lawmakers are calling for a change in defense doctrine. Senior advisors have spoken of modifying Iran's nuclear policy if an existential threat emerges, despite a fatwa that bans nuclear weapons. For now, IAEA inspectors remain locked out of Iran's most sensitive sites, and questions linger over where Iran has moved its stockpile of highly enriched uranium. So the question tonight is no longer about capability, it is about intent, and whether Ali Khamenei has decided that Iran's survival now demands the bomb. Israel insists that Iranian capabilities should be nipped in the bud. Netanyahu shared this image showing himself inside a cockpit of B-52 bomber with Trump. All eyes are now on the crucial Trump-Bibi meeting in Washington on Monday. Bureau Report, WION, World is One.
North Korea shifting gears to war footing. Kim Jong-un ordering a rapid surge in missile output. And this comes just a day after showcasing the nuclear-powered submarine across the border, South Korea and its ally, America, watching the moves very closely.
Tension sharpens on the Korean peninsula. Kim Jong-un orders a dramatic military drive. Missiles and submarines. North Korea is gearing up for the next chapter. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un orders a rapid increase in missile production. Throughout 2026, Kim toured munitions factories, which shows a hall filled with massive missile parts. Kim directed expanded production capacity for missiles and artillery shells, with plans for new facilities to meet prospective requirements of the armed forces. On Wednesday, these images released by state media showed an 8,700-ton nuclear-powered submarine hull at a shipyard, putting it in the same league as some American fast-attack submarines. Pyongyang calls it a strategic guided missile submarine that could be armed with powerful weapons. The unveiling underlines Pyongyang's push to modernize its navy and add another layer to its deterrent. Regionally, the moves are landing in choppy waters. The U.S. military stationed in South Korea has conducted a steel rain live-fire drill with new multiple rocket launchers. Washington is also backing Seoul's ambition to join the club of nations operating nuclear-powered submarines, adding another layer of undersea competition. North Korea has sent troops, artillery shells, missiles and long-range rocket systems to support Russian forces in its war against Ukraine. West says that in exchange for Pyongyang's military support, Russia has provided North Korea with financial assistance, military technology and supplies of food and energy. Analysts say Kim's missile push and nuclear submarine reveal are calibrated both to reinforce his negotiating leverage and to counter what he sees as encirclement at sea, particularly the emerging U.S.-South Korea nuclear submarine cooperation he has condemned as an offensive act. For now, each new test firing, factory upgrade and joint drill deepen a cycle in which both sides describe their steps as defensive, yet every move leaves the region more heavily armed, more closely watched, and more on edge.
To stay up to speed with the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.